Root 5 rectangle tutorial. A root 5 starts with a 1 by 2, which is two squares placed side by side, as you can see here. Here's your 1 by 2 without any dividing lines. The diagonal of a 1 by 2 is the square root of 5 in relation to its long side. In order to make a root 5, use the length of the diagonal to extend the 1 by 2. Here the bottom edge has been extended. It is the same length as the diagonal. The square root of 5 is 2.236 and on. When you extend the length of the 1 by 2 to meet the length of the diagonal, you have made your root 5 rectangle. Another way to make a root 5 rectangle begins with a square. Divide the square in half vertically. Draw the diagonals from the bottom center to the top left and right corners. You're going to extend the rectangle the length of the diagonals to the left and the right from the center point of the square. Then draw your rectangle to the point where those diagonals extended and you will have your root 5 rectangle. The root 5 rectangle has a proportion of 1 to the square root of 5, which is also 1 to 2.236 and on. Here all the process marks have been removed and you can see that we have a center square and two sections on the left and right. The two sections on the left and right, which are highlighted in yellow, are golden rectangles. The area in the middle is a square. Because a golden rectangle is made up of a square and a golden section, which is also a golden rectangle, you can find two larger golden rectangles within the root 5. Here is a golden rectangle on the right side that's made up of the center square and the vertical section. And here's another golden rectangle on the left made up of the vertical small golden rectangle and the center square. In this slide, I've moved both of the golden rectangles to the right and the square to the left. Here I've done the opposite and moved the golden rectangles to the left and the square to the right. Because a root 5 is made up of one square and two vertical goldens, you can make a root 5 by starting with the golden rectangle. The area highlighted in yellow is the golden section, which is also a golden rectangle. To make a root 5 rectangle, duplicate the golden section and add it to the side. Here you can see that the root 5 rectangle consists of the square on the left and the two vertical small golden rectangles. You can use any of these arrangements to help you with composition. You can also break down the square and the golden rectangles in ways that you've already learned to make smaller divisions within the root 5. Here I found the square in the right golden section, which leaves me another golden section below it. I also found the square of the left golden section. Then I extended the horizontal all the way across the root 5 rectangle. Here I'm using a photograph as a visual example, and I've added a couple of more divisions in our root 5 grid that you can see. The telephone pole lines up with one of the verticals, the mailbox and the side of the building line up with verticals. The horizon line actually lines up with the horizontal that I didn't draw on here. This is just to show you an example of how visual images can be composed using these grids.